Hey guys, it's Marty. We're talking mid-April. I decided to go to the stateside here in New York to target some smallmouth bass on our gobies, which Lake Erie is the water body, and as some of you may know, there's been a ton of research done here around smallmouth bass and their consumption of round goby, which in some studies shows as high as 73% of round goby were found in the contents of smallmouth bass in some research done a number of years ago, and that trend just continues across all the Great Lakes. So what's new and what I'm going to be doing different is normally we're fishing a river like the Detroit or the St. Clair with the Goliath goby, which is 3.3 inches. Very nice bait, multi-season, multi-species. However, this time, and you're going to be learning soon about this, if not already after having produced this video, that we are releasing a brand new goby style bait called the Goliath Swim-Goby. And that Swim-Goby is 3.6 inches. It should be perfect. Now, the primary difference here is you're going to be using the Swim-Goby as more of a casting bait. It's got a paddle tail design, so it's more of a horizontal cast and retrieve, search and find fish type thing, or when you're looking for active fish. It's definitely a bait that helps you cover more water versus vertically jigging directly under the boat, or as some of you do, drop shotting. It's just a faster retrieve. You can use this bait slow or fast. It actually, what's really cool and effective in terms of enticing fish to bite is not only does it have a really nice wiggle on the tail, but it has an incredible side to side, I call it a waggle, some call it a shimmy, similar to the Dual Realis spy baits. And you may have heard some pro anglers really feel that rotation or that waggle in the body itself is what makes the difference between an average bait and a good bait. And happy to let you guys know that the new Goliath Swim-Goby has a waggle. So not only tail movement, but it also has body movement. It's gonna be available right now. I believe we have a dozen colors, a lot of natural colors for the bass guys, and some bright colors, lime colors like chartreuse lime, hot pinks for the walleye anglers who want to try them up north. They're going to be great for walleye, bass, and pike. We actually developed this bait last year. Last fall we had it in use on Lake St. Clair and on Lake Erie, Nanticoke Shoal, and it was proven to catch smallmouth bass, walleye, northern pike, and even some big perch hit the bait. So I'm here on Lake Erie. This is the spot that all the research has been done about smallmouth bass and how they really despise goby and actually consume them as a food source. So we're going to see, hopefully the weather holds out. We're going to get a real nasty front coming in later this afternoon. We're trying to beat that. And hopefully we'll find some fish, because there's a big body of water here, and show you guys just how effective this new bait is. Goliath Swim-Goby, check it out. It's available online at grumpybaits.com, soon to be available through our dealer network, both in Canada and the US. So let's give her a go. All right, got here at the spot where we've caught some fish from previous years. I'm gonna just show you how I rig this. So I've got, this is our, call it round nose jig that we sell, and they're custom. This is called the Grumpy Pumpkin color, and I am inclined to put this is our Lake St. Clair color in the new Goliath Swim-Goby. So what I do is I just try to put that right, you can see that right in the sort of center of the nose like that. And then I make sure that as I'm guiding it down, it's going right down along that first dorsal fin, and it's not, you know, use your fingers to sort of guide it. And you see here, it's partially through right now, It's right through the back there, right between the two fins. I push that across, and that's it. That's the setup right there. So that's going to be the first guy that goes in. I got fish marking right below me. And then I'm going to do, because the water's got a little stain to it, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to try this guy. This is our natural goby chartreuse swim-goby. And this is actually probably my most go-to bait color out of all our colors. Natural goby chartreuse. Particularly bass love them and walleye love them. So you never know what you're going to hook into when you put this on. So same program. I'm going to take that. This is another one of our round nose jigs. It is 1/4 ounce. We're in let's see here. It looks like we're in 24 feet, 30 feet of water. So that should be just about right. So again, I'm going to take the nose of the hook and the bait. I'm going to drive that through. Let's see if I can do it this way. I drive it through. It's always hard to do this, especially when you're solo. I like doing these solo trips because I don't have to worry about interrupting people's fishing. So there's the swim-goby and natural goby chartreuse on that 1/4 ounce jig. So I'm going to start casting and we'll see what happens. Well, that did not take long at all. Just hammered this. What do you think of this fish? Holy, what do you think of that? Look what he took. I'm gonna anchor this spot right here. Look what he took right there. Wow, look at the size of that fish. That's just enormous. Amazing. All right, guys. And the fish don't stop hitting these new swim-gobies. Look at this thing. Like just absolute big fish here. Look at that. Totally inhaled. That's the St. Clair. Oh, that's the fish right there. I'll get some measurements on these. Fantastic day. I've only been out a bit. All right, guys, I just landed a fish, totally unexpected. I thought for sure this was a big sheephead. Well, check this out. I can hardly fit it in my bass net. I actually think this might be the biggest walleye I've ever caught in my life. Well, so this walleye has got to be 30 plus. Huge belly. I bet you she's spawning. Look where this goby is in this bait, in this mouth. Just inhaled it. So if you're in doubt about walleye eating goby, guess what? They love them. This thing just plastered this bait. The fish keep going on here. Just hammered this absolute. Look at the belly on that thing. She's ready to spawn. Absolute huge smallie. Wow. All right, just landed another chunker. Let's take a look. Beautiful. Let's get him in the boat. You can just see how chunky these fish are, and how well they hit. Look at the girth. I mean, it's not a giant. This is not a giant fish. Still, it's a nice fish. Wow, there's a whole school of, I don't know what kind of fish there are there, but it's enormous. I doubt it's bass. If it is bass, that'd be pretty cool. Just not quite sure. There's a fish. That's awesome. He's on. Oh, he's a small guy. By far the smallest bass of the day. This is a baby. I think maybe that was part of that group of fish I just saw. It could have been like a whole bunch of oops, I don't like the way that tail went through. I don't like, it could have been a whole bunch of 2-year class bass, maybe 3, that I saw on the Panoptics there. That's quite possible. Hey everyone, so back at it. Just landed another beautiful bass here on Lake Erie in New York State. So I'm doing an early season fish to test out these new Goliath Swim-Gobies on pre-spawning smallmouth bass. Now here in New York State, you're allowed to come out and fish for bass. And I'm targeting the deeper water. I'm in 30 plus feet of water here, strictly because I don't want to be sitting or casting to bedding fish that might be in tight already. So my goal is to really target the fish that are basically getting ready to hit the shallower water. And what I'm doing, like I mentioned, there's really 2 techniques. The technique I just switched to is just basically vertical jigging right below the boat with a heavier jig head. And so this is a 1/2 ounce jig with our Goliath Swim-Goby. This is the Lake St. Clair color. This and the purple pearl were really good today. 3.6 inch length bait. And what I'm doing with this one is, instead of casting and retrieving like I've been doing, so casting, letting it sink in that 30 plus feet of water, dropping it and slowly retrieving it. It was fine in the morning when the water was like glass, but the winds picked up a bit and it's making it harder to keep the bait down and keeping it moving at a pace where the paddle tail and the fish get attracted by that. So I switched up. I'm basically vertical jigging, similar to what I would be doing on the Detroit River. I'm trolling at about 1.5 to just over maybe 2. Actually, it's not even that fast. It's probably like 0.5 to 1 kilometer an hour trolling pace, so that this is staying on the bottom directly below the boat, and I'm just lifting. So the other technique I had mentioned was using our custom round jig head. That's the purple pearl. That was really good as well today. This is only a 1/4 ounce, so it's not getting me down far or deep enough as I'm moving through these bigger waves. So I've switched up to that heavier jig and pretty much immediately hooked into a fish. So let's see if I can find, there's a specific area I've found a lot of good active fish, so let's see if I can get back on them. Now that just about sums up the day right there, folks. What a gorgeous, gorgeous smallmouth bass. Look at the belly on that thing. Just a gorgeous fish here on Lake Erie. I'm gonna let that guy go. So, as you know, I was out here today testing our new Swim-Goby. And I have to say, it was an amazing success. The bait just performs perfectly. Slow retrieve, deep water, shallow water. You can really use this bait in a multitude of fishing situations. It also, the cool thing about Goby baits is they never go out of season. So if you're fishing anywhere in the Great Lakes, you know that round goby have invaded not only the Great Lakes, but a lot of inland lakes. We're finding them all over the place in rivers and lakes inland. And this bait right here will be available in a number of colors that will allow you to catch fish all year round, multiple species, walleye, smallmouth bass, largemouth bass, pike, perch. Heck, we caught a muskie on these. So really, give these baits a try. Grumpybaits.com. You will not regret your investment in these baits. They're made with durable plastic. They're made with infused with salt and scent. So take a look, give them a go, and remember, if the fish ain't biting, don't get mad, get grumpies. All right.